I like sports and that's it. I like sports and that's it.
Yo, 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 it's the one and only Lyse.
And it's your girl Velz, a.k.a. Velly, if that's what you want to call me.
And together we are Locked in Sports.
All right, we're here today with the pleasure of interviewing a coach on Locked in Sports Coaches Edition. This lady is the very first African-American head volleyball coach at Arlington Sam Houston High School, and she is also the very first African-American female coordinator at Arlington Sam Houston High School. Without further ado, none other than Jamie Johnson.
Hey.
Thank y'all for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you for
Welcome.
being here. Thank you for being here. So Jamie, thank you for being here. Welcome to the show. You are, I will say, before we get started, you are a listener of our show, and we definitely appreciate the support.
Absolutely.
So getting into it, we kind of want you to give us a little bit of your background, a little bit of your bio.
Ooh, Lord, where you started? Well, I'm born and bred here in Arlington. I'm a Sam Houston alumni.
Hey.
So I graduated from Sam Houston, Long Top, Texas forever.
I
You
know that's right.
You want to do it. I went and I played volleyball and basketball in college. I was scholarship to play both. I got a bachelor's degree in university studies, a master's in athletic administration. And man, I was blessed with an opportunity to come back to Sam and just give back to the community that I was a part of, coming up. I've got 3 beautiful kids. I got a husband.
Yeah.
I mean, many jobs. A woman's work is never done.
Nah,
but
that's right.
man, my life has truly just been a blessing in general, just to be able to do what I do now. Mm-hmm. It's been awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
So,
So you're currently a coach, like I just mentioned at the beginning, first African-American head coach at Arlington Sam Houston High School. I believe the first coach was here for over 30 years, and then you came over and took over the reign. How was it just stepping into those shoes and trying to change the culture here at Sam?
man, when you start talking about changing the culture, you can get into a wide array of things. But the first thing I felt was pride, man. In order to, when you come back to the school that you graduated from, and the staff and the principals, they feel like you're worthy of coming in and doing something different than what has been done. That's a lot right there. So I immediately I felt proud. Mm-hmm. But then you get in here, I assessed everything. Mm-hmm. And realized the grind that was about to happen. And I wasn't gonna say it wasn't nerve-wracking at times, mm-hmm. but overall it was just something that I felt was gonna be rewarding in the end. Because when you work in your purpose, then
come on, purpose.
then you just do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And so I love the opportunity to come back and do this. And so, I was just grateful to be able to do it. Yeah. I came in and me and you, we worked together here, but you knew what the program was like before I got here. Right. And it wasn't that it was necessarily a bad program, but, sometimes you have people in place for a long time. Mm-hmm. And it just is what it is, right? You get to a point sometimes in your coaching career where you say, okay, maybe it's time for me to move around, and you don't necessarily take care of things the way you have in the past, right? So when I got here, that was really what it was. It wasn't that it was a bad program. It was just that it hadn't been taken care of in a couple of different ways. And so once we were able to get in and kind of assess the situation, see the different areas mm-hmm. that we needed to fix, it was go time from there. It was I say easy because when you're coming from the bottom, mm-hmm. you can't go nowhere but up, right?
I know that's right.
So it was easy in that regard, but it was hard, to get things off the ground. Mm-hmm. But again, it was just a great opportunity. So I was super proud, more than anything, to be able to come back and to do this, to do the work we do here.
So you had mentioned you played in college.
Yes.
So what was like that transition from being a player into a coach?
Ooh, okay.
How'd you get started on that journey?
Man, so my senior year in college, I actually ended up coming home. There was some issues at the home at my house with my mom. So I came home. I came home from school. Came to a local college just to kind of finish up my degree in that last year. But in that time frame, I was actively playing club volleyball. And so I had a friend in club volleyball, and she was just like, hey, you actually kind of good at this. I've always been able to get on the court and see everybody's point of view.
Okay.
And I think as a coach, that's what that's kind of what you do normally. But she introduced me to club volleyball, youth club volleyball, and coaching a youth club volleyball. And so that's kind of how I got started. Yeah. At first, it was weird because I mean you come from collegiate, the collegiate level volleyball. And I'm coaching 11-year-olds, year one, and I'm like, ooh, it's a little different,
right?
But making it through that first season and just seeing the growth and seeing how those players, like, how they just, I don't know, it was like they just gravitated towards you by the end of it. It just made me feel like this is something that I want to do. I wanted to be able to give knowledge, to those who don't have it. You know what I'm saying? And so that was kind of how I got into it. Once I got the opportunity to start coaching some older girls, I was kind of blown away because, so those older girls, they a different breed. They your size,
right?
And so they feel like you can't really tell them much, and there's a bunch of different things that go into the coaching those older girls. But once you let them know that you're here for them and that they understand your genuine intentions, and then the feedback that they give you, and like the respect that you get. I mean, man, that made me fall in love with it. And then just kind of in my journey in general in coaching, I've had the ability and the opportunities to coach just a wide variety of athletes. I mean, young, old, black, white, Asian, green, purple, red. Any and every demographic I have had the opportunity to coach. But one of the things that really kind of tugged on my heartstrings was how I noticed that any kid who didn't have the opportunities to do the club thing or who didn't have the money to do that kind of stuff, anytime you gave them a little bit of extra attention, they were just as good as those kids who were doing things outside of the normal, volleyball process. And so noticing how quickly you could make a turnaround in those kids just by giving them a little extra, that made me feel like it was a part of my purpose. Right. So once I feel like it was my purpose, I was like, well, shoot, I can't go nowhere else.
Right.
Like, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm on this earth to do. I want to spread the game. I want to spread athletics in general.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Amongst those kids who wouldn't otherwise have had a chance or who wouldn't have had an opportunity to have a great coach on their side. So I know it was a roundabout way, a long way of saying it, but man, it's just it was just different little milestones that made me say, ooh, I like this. Yeah. I can rock with this. And this feels so good that it moved my soul. So,
Yeah. So during your coaching club volleyball, you say you first started, it was, wasn't the best season.
Right.
But as time went on, were y'all starting to win? And
Absolutely. So I've had the opportunity to coach for multiple clubs. And then I had the opportunity to assist in founding a club. So the Texas All-Stars Volleyball Club is a club run by Quenisha Speed. She is a great pillar in her community. She does a lot of different great things. But she came one day and she was like, I want to start a club. Can you help me? And I was absolutely on board for it. And so once the All-Stars came about, it was a better opportunity for me to get my hands on a higher caliber athlete. And I say that meaning they were just athletic.
Right.
I knew I could teach the skill, right? Yeah. But they were just a group of athletic kids whose parents had bought in.
Right.
And so that made it easy for us to be able to start like really creating a winning culture.
Right.
And so like the first year we started off with 5 teams, I want to say. We doubled through COVID in size.
Wow.
And we were putting teams out there who, I mean, they was giving people hell, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so through that process, I also started coaching at Sam Houston.
Okay.
But yes, we did start to create a winning culture, and that culture came just because we felt like we had what it takes, and we could give the type of energy we wanted. Right. And so that's a big thing for me. I'm gonna give you the energy. If I want you to have it, I'm gonna show you what it looked like, and then I'm just gonna ask you to reciprocate that. You know. So we have done a lot of winning. We went to Puerto Rico last year.
Oh,
we
wow.
won my 17th team last year. We won that tournament. We won first place in gold. A lot of those girls are graduating this year. They've committed to Tuskegee, Louisiana Tech.
Yes.
We've got Langston. We've got,
amazing.
We've got kids that are going all over the country, you know. So it has been an awesome experience, just trying to build a winning program. And then even here at Sam, so my first year at Sam, you know, was a little rough, you know. We didn't win any district games, right? Yeah. So by the time my second year came, I was like, okay, you know, there were some different things that we wanted to tweak. And so we ended up tweaking those things. And that second year, we were competitive. Right. We won multiple district games that year. I can't remember exactly how many, but we won multiple district games that year. But then this past year, we were more than competitive. We had you on the ropes. It was real talk, you know what I'm saying? We had them thinking like, ooh, you know, let me put it, all the starters got to play. Yeah. When Sam walked in the gym, okay, we're going to watch a little film now. You know, that's where we are. And we missed playoffs by a game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, man, building a winning culture is something that I've just been good at. And I enjoy doing. I enjoy the grind and the grit work that comes with that. Right. So.
I know, you know, like you said, you enjoy the grind and you enjoy the grit work. I know a lot of sleepless nights come with that. Mm-hmm. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated to do what you set out to do as far as like building a winning culture?
Man, my daughter keeps me motivated. My youngest daughter, she is every bit of what I am right now. But it took me a while to get to, you know, to be this way. But man, when I look at her, I'm like, man, there's no way I can't get out here and do everything that I expect you to do when you become my age, or for you to do better. And in order for me to make sure that my kids see what good people look like, and they see what it means to to really stick by your word, stand by your word, I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do it. And so my kids are one reason why I get up and keep going. Another reason why I keep going is because of the kids that we service. Right. Man, the kids that we service, you will see these kids. Day one, when Coach Johnson walked in the gym, it's a little different. You know, I got an aggressive mentality. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's dog eat dog, but I'm going to hug you. Yeah. And then I'm going to talk bad to you in the same token while I'm hugging you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But just to see them from that first day where they are afraid and they're timid, and they don't know what to do. And then you see them, like this year when they graduate, oh my God, and you see you done brought out the dog in them. Yeah. And this year we had 3 kids, 3 of our 4 seniors, they got volleyball scholarships this year. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was all me. They look like me on the court. Yeah. And so when you see that, when you see the end result, how can I not wake up and do that again? How can I not wake up and repeat that process, right? Like, I mean, it's working, and it's making an impact in such a way. It is not a superficial impact that I'm making, right? We are making here at Sam Houston. We're doing God's work. Right? Come on now, we change you from the inside out, and so that's right. We are impacting the world just by the touches and the love and the affirmations and even the discipline and the tough love that we give these kids. So if I know that I'm gonna put out something great into the world, and help make the world, you know, I know it's cliche, a better place, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Why can I'm every morning when I get up, that's what I'm gonna go and do. Yeah. So
let's kind of go back to like your first year at Sam. like y'all stated previously, the varsity coach before you came was here forever, right? So knowing that and you coming in, even though it is our alma mater, how did those kids take to you, knowing there's a new coach in town? Like
They didn't, if I'm being honest. The older ones did, let me put it that way. So
Right.
there were seniors, and some of the juniors. The freshmen, they only knew me.
Right.
I mean, I had to go down to the schools and call the parents that were in our feeders, in our attendance zone, saying, "Hey, I'm a new coach. This is why you should trust me with your kid."
Yeah.
But it was difficult for those older athletes to understand that because they were accustomed to something completely different from me. So they could come in and kind of have their own way, do kind of what they want. I walked in with some paper saying, "Hey, this is my expectations. This is how we roll over here. You got to sign this, and if you don't sign it, not only can you not play, but I mean, you're gonna have to find something else to be a part of." Because I knew we had to make a drastic change. So it was tough for those girls. That first year, it was really tough for them, and I can understand why it would be so tough and why it was so difficult, because I was just so different from what they were accustomed to.
Right.
So they didn't like me.
Yeah.
They didn't like me.
Nobody likes
I
change.
probably got talked back to a couple times by some seniors, but they didn't like me. But once they realized that not only did I understand what I was talking about, and I increased their volleyball IQ, then the tide started to change.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that first year was rough, man.
Yeah.
It was a rough one.
Because, at that point, when you're a senior, you 17, 18, you kind of pretty much, you at the door.
Yeah, right.
Somebody
Setting
else
your own
coming
ways.
in, bringing rules.
Right.
We ain't had no rules past 3 years.
Right.
What you mean?
Yeah, they're talking about Harpo, who this? Like, what?
You just got here.
You can
Nah, that's the truth. That's the
But
truth.
yeah, so that first year was rough, man. They, like I said, they didn't like it, but
Yeah.
I don't regret anything that happened that first year. I don't regret the losses. I don't regret the technique that we implemented. I don't regret the expectations or the heart that I gave, because I think that set the standard, and it showed. And even the other teams in the district, like other coaches, was like, "Y'all playing volleyball."
Right.
Yeah.
I was
Is
like,
this Sam Houston? Is this
Yes.
the same Sam?
Correct. And I was like, "Well, what were we doing before?" Because oh my God, like,
Yeah.
Man.
That's
but,
good.
yeah. So
So you mentioned that you were a former athlete yourself. What would you say the difference?
I'm a current athlete, baby. I'm never gonna not be one.
You're right. You are a current athlete, and I will say that you probably are one of the most competitive people that I know. I've actually competed against you, not just really in basketball. And I've known you to be a competitor forever. What is the difference between coaching volleyball and playing volleyball for you?
So, so playing, of course, you're the one out there doing it. As a coach, it is my job to make you understand why you have to do what you have to do, and then to give you the skill set that I need you to go out there and perform. And so I don't care what nobody say, coaching is more difficult than playing. Right. Because I feel like you can go out there and perform, but to be able to explain and translate, because you got to translate because everybody different, right?
Right.
You to be able to get that to translate to those kids, man, it takes a lot. It takes a great understanding of communication. Yeah. It takes a great patience. It takes a lot of self-reflection, because you are constantly trying to look at yourself and say, okay, what could I have done to explain this better, or to show this better, or to teach this better, or what opportunities can I get for these kids in order to make sure that they understand what I want them to look like.
Right.
And so I think that the major difference between coaching and playing is coaching, you are a translator at heart. You are translating information. You are making sure that everybody understands. And then you have to put it all together, right? You have to put it all together on paper and make sure it looks, whatever you put on your paper, that's how it's going to look on the court, Right. As a player, you really got to keep your body in shape and then get out there and do what your coach tell you to do.
Yeah.
You don't. There is not a whole lot of thinking that you have to do if you know how to listen as a player.
Right.
And I'll say that. I know that now. That kind of opens up a whole other can of worms for me, because I think all my players need to be able to think on the fly, and we've trained them to do that. Like they were like, "Coach, what play should we run?" You tell me. What did you see on the other side of the court? You should know this by now. Like, but in general, coach is gonna translate. A player, all you have to do is just you just have to get out there and do what you were told to do.
Right.
So,
How do you keep them engaged though? You know, like
a lot of yelling, screaming, and energy. No, man, but for real, I am a energy person. Like if you ever get a chance to come to our games, you sit on our bench, you probably would think you was at a basketball game when we play.
Because like that.
Because I'm over there, I got my little kitten heels on sometimes, or maybe my flats. I'm yelling, I'm screaming, my head is shaking. Like, and the kids are on the court doing the same thing. We constantly get in trouble because the bench will rise and everybody's getting out there, you know, something
that
good.
unity.
Yes, like, so energy, man, keeping them engaged is giving them what I want them to give me. That's me just putting out that energy out there and saying, hey, man, do this. If you do this, I'm in it with you.
Right.
And they can feel it, you know, and that's how I've been able to kind of keep kids engaged more often than not for Sam Houston.
Now, kind of taking a turn, so we already know that you are a leader of young women, but like mentioned before, you are the head coach at Sam Houston High School. How is it being a leader of, I guess, the women on your staff, and also the coaches, the women coaches on campus that you have to kind of lead because you are the coordinator?
Well, I lead women and men.
And men, you are right about that. I'm leaving some stuff out, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But when it comes down to my female coaches, we are often taught to be passive. You let the male coaches do their thing. Y'all, women coaches, just follow the rules. And, you know, it is what it is. So when it comes down to my female coaches, I am a mama bear, right? Anybody come for them, you come for me, and y'all gonna have to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the nicest way I can put it. But man, I have had the opportunity to hire some awesome male coaches, to get to work with some awesome male coaches, and I think that again because of the way I talk to them. The way that I make sure that I respect them and I try to understand them, they have been very open and very receptive to me and the different things that I asked of them, and the different things that I require of them. I mean, I take pride in being able to work with anybody. But again, man, when it comes to my lady coaches, you know, I'm gonna ride or die,
right?
And that's that. I'm gonna have their back, and they know I'm gonna have their back. No matter what it is.
And to kind of piggyback off of Vel's question, what have been some of the like challenges you faced with being an athletic coordinator?
Well,
and the first African American female athletic.
You know, outside of trying to be a little piece of Black history about that.
I
much.
know that's right.
No, man, challenges. It's always tough to get people who are older than you to be okay with accepting you in the role that you have. I try to, you know, I've always been big on saying, hey, like, we co-workers. They be like, no, this is my boss. And I'm like, we co-workers, you know. I don't need to pull the boss card, you know. We co-workers.
Right.
But just getting people to respect that. It also, you know, and it just is what it is. Being a minority female, I mean, that's strike one, strike two, right?
Right.
And so sometimes people don't understand how smart we are. There's often times where I know I'm the smartest person in the room, but I can't move like I'm the smartest person in the room. You know, I've had to learn to temper some of the things that I want to say sometimes. So that way I can make sure that I make the right decisions for my coaching staff.
Right.
And so that some things aren't misconstrued, you know, taken in the wrong way. But as I've learned those different, you know, going through those different challenges, I find myself more and more, I guess I don't know what's the best word to say for it. I find myself where I'm more and more willing to stand up and say whatever it is that I need to say, because after a while you realize that it shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't.
Right?
You shouldn't have to dim your light.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Correct. I like my light to shine.
Right.
I like to shine as bright as it can. It take work to dim your light. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to dim your light than it is to shine sometimes. So, you know, but man, those are like kind of the main ones. And then it was a new position too. And so me making sure that I fully understood all the rules and regulations that go with it. And you got to understand, from the coordinator's position, I gotta understand wrestling. I gotta understand cheer.
Yeah.
I gotta understand golf, tennis, swim, softball, baseball, all the things. And so making sure that I was able to that I built that foundation and I was knowledgeable in the different areas that I needed to be in reference to all those sports, that was a challenge too. Because you got to find time, right? Find time to do that. You got to find time to be a student outside of trying to be the teacher,
right?
Right.
That's a good analogy right there. Yeah.
So but those were my struggles, and I'm appreciative of those struggles just because I feel like they've added to my repertoire. Right now, I feel like I'm able to communicate with anybody from any walk of life, from any age. Whether they're difficult or not, whether they're just too passive or whether they're aggressive. I have been in this position has just given me opportunities to have so many different connections with people and learn how to like grow those connections and build on that stuff. So, man, I love the challenges. Come on, where they at? Where they at? Where they at?
All right, so. Everybody knows sports, starting from little league to professional sports, that it's a business. Sports is a business. And with business also comes politics.
Absolutely.
So what I kind of want to know is, like, how did you maneuver being a head volleyball coach and an athletic director,
coordinator.
All right, I'm sorry, coordinator.
It's okay. Speaking into existence. I've done that before too.
There we go. We're going to put it out there. But how did you maneuver through those politics? Was there anything that you had to really sell to get things done that needed to be done and what your team needed to be successful?
Man, yeah, absolutely. So when it comes down to politics with anything, right, the smartest politician just knows the right people. Mm-hmm. They don't know everything.
Right.
So I was able to kind of connect and link up with a couple of people who were in this industry, who were able to give me some guidance, who could put some bugs in the ears for me where I needed to. But just, so one of the biggest ones for me would have been Chris Anthony, right? He was the head football coach who hired me. He was the athletic coordinator at the time. He took me under his wing. He mentored me. He taught me the game, and then told me who to talk to in reference to the rest of the game.
Right.
And so when it comes down to politics, knowing the people, right, knowing the right people to talk to address whatever situations that occur or are occurring. I had to learn to operate around people who didn't necessarily like me, even if they didn't have a reason not to like me.
Right.
Which is politics at its finest, right? Right. When you walk in a room and you smile at the person who hates you, right? And that kind of goes with anything. So just even from the politics of just club volleyball, before or outside of just high school ball, right? In club, a lot of times the politics revolve around money. Who was paying money to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But then when you get into the public schools, and I learned to maneuver through that because it's easy to find the one who got money. You can see who can write the biggest check and then go and talk to them.
Right.
But then when you get into like the public school scene, and it's not about money. It's literally about the relationships that people have built. Just learning, just learning to go and talk with them and sit with them, give them the extra time that you might not have otherwise thought to give. Yeah. Going to greet people face to face,
right,
to have conversations, instead of making that phone call, even if it's the easiest thing to do, Yeah. But man, politics was just, it is not for the faint of heart. And I don't enjoy the politics of it, but I know it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
In fact. And then so like for Sam Houston, I was able to go and talk to a couple of people. The athletic director for the district, he was really great about trying to help me get the different things that I needed. And so and giving ideas on different events that I could do and how to host those events and stuff like that. And so we were able to host a wide array of events because I figured out that part of the landscape.
Yeah.
So politics sucks in general,
Right.
but it is the driving force. It's the driving factor behind anything that you do when it comes to athletics.
Yeah.
Just knowing who you know, how you know them. If you got a friend that's good with them, they can help you with it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't like politics much.
Yeah.
So you mentioned events just there. Speaking of events, Sam Houston High School hosted an HBCU showcase last year.
Yes.
And I believe it's an event that the Texas All-Star hosts every year, annually.
So
how did that come about?
Yeah, so the Texas All-Stars doesn't actually host it. The Black Volleyball Circuit hosts it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the owner of the Texas All-Stars is also the CEO and founder of the Black Volleyball Circuit.
Okay.
One day, we were talking, she says, hey, they have a black softball circuit or something like that. And she was like, we need to do something like that for volleyball,
Yeah.
And so, she put the wheels in motion. She did everything that she needed to do in order to found that. And from that, we hosted the first HBCU showcase, like truly HBCU volleyball showcase.
That's what's up.
The first year, I was the head court coach, so I basically ran the courts, with the athletes on them. You get the colleges there, and they'll tell you what they want to see, and then you just make it happen. You put them, you put them through drills. That first year when it was done, we had kids leaving the gym with scholarships.
Man,
so. It was just amazing to be a part of it. It absolutely gave me chills to be able to get out there, and then you look when you look through the gym space, and all you see is little black and brown, super athletic kids jumping out the gym, and you got the music going. You got, and she makes it a spectacle, right? It is even more than just the athletes on the court. She's giving these black-owned businesses opportunities to come and sell things. She's gonna have you're gonna see the Greek fraternity and sorority. They're gonna have their representation there because it's HBCU.
Right.
They always have a wide variety of college coaches. So last year when we were blessed with the opportunity to host it at Sam Houston, we used 2 of our gyms, but we ran like 4 courts.
Oh wow!
We had the head coach from LSU. She was here. We hosted it was like a parent. It's kind of like a parent workshop where those coaches would go in there and talk to parents about the process, right? What it looked like to get in college, how you get there, what do you have to do. It was just a really well put together event. And something that I enjoy being a part of. The girls are my Sam Houston girls now they are participating in it, so they get exposure like that. Yeah. It's one of those events that if you hadn't ever been to it, go to it because you're gonna feel like you're a part of history.
Yes.
And every time, without fail, there are girls that leave their gym with a scholarship, and they go. The athletes that are there, I believe it's 8th grade through transfer. So you can go 8th grade through 12th, and then anybody who's looking to transfer, there's a court space for them as well.
That's
so
dope. How many participants did y'all have?
I think last year they had like 130.
Wow.
So
wow.
It was, and this year it's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be hosted at the Mansfield Fieldhouse.
Oh.
This year, so the last 2 years we've only done one. Each year, but this year they have one here and they're gonna have one in Atlanta.
Oh wow,
that one's gonna be crazy.
Yes.
That one's gonna be stupid.
I was able to go and get to see the space that they're gonna utilize for that event in Atlanta. It's gonna be so dope,
man.
It's gonna be so dope.
How can one be a part? So like anybody that's like listening or watching, how can they sign up to be a part of the HBCU showcase?
So the Black Volleyball Circuit has a website, and on their website there is a link you can click on for the HBCU showcase. I'm pretty sure they're still allowing some registrations, especially for the one in Atlanta, since it's going to be later than the one that's happening here locally in Dallas.
Okay.
But just go to their website. It's the blackvolleyballcircuit.com, I believe.
Okay. I'm sure they got a link.
Yes, and there's a link on there. Click the link, and go from there. And then, of course, Coach Speed is, she's like I said, she's CEO. There's a couple of other women, Montanya Jackson, who is also one of the women who works a part of the organization to help get the coaches out and stuff like that. She's somebody else that you guys can get in touch with if you wanted to. So But yeah, it is a dope event, man. It is Black excellence.
Yeah, I know that's
Black
right.
excellence.
That's the best
So
way to
That's
put it.
what
We
we're
love
trying to
that.
push for sure.
So, leaving from that and then going back to the coaching spectrum of things, what would you say the difference is between coaching club volleyball and regular just public high school volleyball?
Man, there's a couple of differences. There are some differences in rules. So there's different things that we can do in club that we can't do in high school ball, which is absolutely crazy to me because those two, I feel like because of how much high schools push club volleyball,
Right.
they should go by the same rules.
Right.
So that's one thing. The other part of it is the parents, right? So
Yep.
when you're okay, so in high school, sure, the parents are involved to an extent. When you are in club, a parent is a driving force on whether that kid is there or not. I have seen it where parents can make or break a team or a coach, because they get that kind of power because of the kind of money that they're paying. So again, here we go back to the dinero, right? Yeah, and politics, right? Politics, money. But those are the two major differences. I think that one other difference is the level of competition.
Yeah.
So playing club ball, it is usually a higher level of competition based on your age. Playing high school ball, and this is I say it's a personal opinion, but it is something you'll see when you actually go to watch the two different entities play. In high school ball, you might not always get to play that highest level of ball on your varsity squad because you have so many different levels of players. But when you go to club and you see these powerhouse 16s teams or these Mad Frog 17s, UEAP, their 17s and 18s, which the 16s actually made it to nationals. Shout out to Riley. She's a dope setter. She's tall, but I love her to death. She's an awesome kid. Go to Soto. But like when you go and see them play each other, it's like watching a college game.
Oh,
like
shoot,
you
Powerhouse.
it's intense.
Yes, it's, and I mean, and everybody's, they're moving, they're talking, just the way, like the feel of the game. You know what I'm saying? It is electrifying sometimes. At those higher levels, you don't always get that in high school ball because you kind of got to take who you can get, whoever's here,
Right.
and and you just learn to work with it. I think the better coaches coach high school ball sometimes because you have to learn. You really have to learn how to coach.
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have such a wide variety of athletes.
Yes.
Now, not to say that club coaches aren't great because I've coached club forever. But I mean, it takes a little something different in your coaching style to coach high school ball as opposed to club. So
that makes me think. So, what is your coaching style?
I don't have one.
Okay.
I used to think that I would just be kind of in your face and I would be like super like aggressive. Then I started getting, I would. My style is tailored to the athlete.
Okay.
Right? So if I got a kid who doesn't do well with me being very forward, I'm gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna beat that bush till I can't beat it no more. But that's how I'm gonna operate with them.
Yeah.
If I have a kid who I know they work well under pressure. Let's go. I mean, if I have a kid who doesn't necessarily want to talk out loud about some of the things they have, we're gonna come on, baby, come over here to the side and let's talk about it. Right. I am a chameleon. That is my coaching style.
Yeah,
I'm gonna blend in with whatever the kid, whatever the style of kid I got.
Yeah.
Because my job is to bring out the best in that kid.
Yeah.
Only way I can bring out the best in that kid is if I can communicate with them and I can motivate them. I can only motivate them the way they want to be motivated. And I can only communicate the way they want to communicate.
Yeah.
So.
That's actually a testament to being like a good coach because like you said, some kids or people in general don't take to being yelled at.
No,
they get they close up. They
Right.
become a shell of themselves. So no, that's good. You manage. Your style is based on those individuals' personalities.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's dope.
Thank you.
So I've been around you and I know how your energy is. I know what you put into getting ready to compete against other teams. How do you prepare your girls? How do you prepare your teams for battle? How do you prepare your teams for competition?
Man, one is just consistency in the state of mind that I need them to have. I am a big proponent of, so each year we'll do a theme, and I try to drill that thing in like no other. No matter what we do. Do you have a one year it was a champion state of mind?
Yeah.
You don't have a champion state of mind. You know. But being just consistent, like with the mindset that I want them to have. Right. That's one thing. The other one is gonna be preparation, like having those girls watch film, see who you playing, what do they look like, what tendencies do they have, who's the setter, what kind of defense are they in, like walking them through those volleyball IQ things. So that's another way that we prepare them for battle. And then we try to make practices competitive. It doesn't make sense to practice and just do all this skill work. You got to practice like you play. So we do drills where they have to compete with one another. They got to compete for a spot. Sometimes I walk in the gym and be like, okay, I don't know who's starting tomorrow.
Right.
Just play for it, you know.
Who want it the most?
That's it.
Yeah,
and
right.
whoever's still standing, your name on the lineup first.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Now, that's dope.
But yeah, just trying to create that level of competition within them. And then of course, I know I say it a lot, but man, energy is just and I say that because I don't even think it's just for girls sports. I think it's for sports in general. Yeah. Sometimes if you have a coach who is fired up and still passionate, still believing in the things that they're doing, then the girls, your athletes are gonna feed off of that. Yeah. And they're gonna reciprocate it. So if they mess up, they might be a little mad, but they're gonna be passionate mad. You know what I'm saying? Like if they do something great, they're gonna be excited. It's gonna be like a passionate excitement. I give them my passionate energy. Yeah. So
I got a quick one. No, be honest. How many times you got kicked out just so they can play better? Like kicked out of a game just so they can get that energy?
I have never got kicked out of a game.
Okay, well that's good.
But it'll be plenty of times where like we'll have a timeout and I'd be like, y'all talk, and then I'll go make sure that I'm saying something to the other people who may have who may have kind of gotten their mind. So a lot of times the other people is the refs. They're just you know. And I go to battle for them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get put out. Okay. Because I can't. I need my job, y'all. Right. I love my job. But man, I will go to battle for them, and I will publicly go to battle for them. So that way they know, hey, I knew I wasn't wrong. I knew I was doing the things the right way. Yep. You play. You let me handle the rest.
Got my back.
Yes, that's it. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
So do you think that Sam Houston is finally getting their respect? And that could be not only for the volleyball team, but just across the board.
I think we're getting more respect, but I don't think we're getting what we deserve.
Can you explain?
And we deserve a lot more. I don't think people really understand what it takes to be here, what it takes to do what we do. I don't think people understand how much effort, how many truly sleepless nights go into putting a program together that has been disrespected for years and years.
The ghetto school.
I was gonna make a statement. It's gonna be so in the program,
okay. Well,
let me you know what I'm saying?
Y'all let me say it.
All I'm gonna say is, across the district, we not the worst school.
No,
and I'm gonna leave that part at that.
I know that's
but
right.
I think that people are starting to notice. Our basketball program, our boys basketball program turned around in a year. Our girls volleyball program has turned around over the last 3 years. Yes. Like we're starting to get the respect. We're starting to get some respect. We're just still not. It's still not enough.
Yeah.
Right. And I get to see it firsthand because I'm a coordinator. I get to see a little bit of everybody else's school. I get to hear and talk to other coordinators, see what's going on at their schools. And so while I believe that we're moving in the right direction, we're not there yet. Right. But I'm gonna be here till we get there.
I know that's right.
So, that's
put me out.
Right. That's it. You know, come on.
So we have gotten all the serious questions out the way. We have one more serious question for you, but we're going to give you a couple of fun questions. For me, what's your get ready playlist like on a day of competition? Yeah. You know, when you just want to lock in as a coach and get your girls prepared for battle, like what's your get ready playlist?
I got this college 2.0 playlist.
Oh, okay.
It's all music from when I was in college.
What years was that?
It's a little while ago. But I walk around the club.
Hey,
everybody.
Oh, yeah,
That's the start of that one.
Okay,
But,
okay.
Man, it's gonna be along the lines of that.
Right,
So
okay.
it's something that make me get up and low-key dance.
Right,
I gotta shut the office door because I'm in there.
Gotta
Like,
get in there. Get that zone. Get that zone right.
Yeah.
And then another question for me is, name 2 African American sports people that you admire or look up to.
Okay. Well, the first one, like I said, he's a local guy.
Okay.
Anthony Chris. Because I say that because of how much he has done for our community. And when I say our community, I mean the African American community.
Right.
Let's just get that out there. But also how much he's done for Sam Houston, how much he has done for any kid that he comes across or any coach that he encounters. He'll go above and beyond to help you be a better version of yourself.
Right.
And to help you make whatever connections you need. So that is the first one that I'll say. Let me see, who would be my second one? Ooh. Does it have to be?
Or
Anybody.
even someone who's played sports, like someone that you look up to, admire, who is also African American, not just volleyball, but any sport that you can just think of off the top of your head.
Okay. Let me think. Man, that's y'all kind of give me with some, because I feel like it's a lot. There's so many different people that I can say, and it's hard to narrow it down. It's hard to narrow it down like that. But I'll start off. I'll say so. Lamita Smith is one.
Okay.
She's a Sam Houston alumni, so I'm a little partial to her. But she is consistent in her giving, and not just to us, but giving to everybody. She played at TCU. She's got a doctorate recently, so it's like Dr. Coach Lamita Smith. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And so, but man, she is an outstanding athlete. She is. I truly admire everything that she does and everything that she is, because it is often hard for her to do those things because she has so much that she does and so much that she does for people. I absolutely, I think that she would be an amazing one. Another one that, is going to stand out to me is you, Harmon. Like,
okay.
So like, I mean, it's a big deal. The reason that I'm in Sam is because of Harmon.
Yeah.
Harmon, Velz, that's what you want to call me. You know what I'm saying? But like when you have people who can see in you what you know is there, and then are willing to say, hey man, look, you
That's flies.
you you can do this, you know what I'm saying? She's the one told me about the openings here at Sam Houston, and I applied for it.
Yeah.
And then she been there right beside me the whole time. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
good.
Like, if I'm competing, even if she don't want to compete, she's gonna grab that hand.
Come on, we're going.
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you been rocking with me, and it's hard to find other alumni, and especially female alumni,
Right.
For Sam Houston, who riding for Sam like we ride, like she genuinely is here and riding for him, and that is admirable, because it's not easy to do. It's not always easy to do. So I got a lot of people, but
To name a few.
to name a few.
That was inspiring.
That's
I
what's
appreciate
up.
it.
And we have 2 more questions. Second to the last question for one. How do you balance being a wife, a mother, and a coach?
Yeah.
All at the same
It
time.
depends on who you ask, because sometimes I balance it well. And then, I'm just playing. Man, time management and a calendar. Say, let me tell you about my Palm Pilot, right?
Right.
That thing, it stays full. If you don't get in there in time, then I can't do it.
Yeah.
Man, my family is so important to me. Because of the role that I'm in. I'm consistently trying to make sure that I put time aside for the different things that I need to. So I compartmentalize a lot. And like I said, I really do use my calendar. If my calendar says I'm supposed to be somewhere, that's where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
If I got a day where my calendar says nothing, I'm going to try not to fill it up if I can. You know what I'm saying? So that I can make sure that time is dedicated to my family. As far as, balancing this out with my husband, a lot of times I bring him the stuff that I do. My kids are gym rats.
Right.
I was pregnant on the court.
Yeah.
Gave birth, and 3-4 weeks later, I'm back on the court.
Right.
And they're in the gym with me.
Right.
So that's one way that I get to spend some time with them, especially when my seasons get hectic. It's like when I'm in volleyball season, it's hectic. So you'll see them at all the games. They can run the concession on their own. If
Right.
They run the clock.
Yeah, they run the clock. They can do all the things. You know what I'm saying? But
It's a family business.
Yeah, I do try to make sure that I separate them when as much as possible. But I also understand that in order for me to be as great as I would like to be one day, I'm gonna have to sometime bring them with me.
Right.
And my husband is so supportive. Oh my God, he is the most. I'm blessed. He, he one of them. He'll tell you, I'll hold your purse, and I could be Mr. Coach Jamie, but man, he's there. He understands, and so that has also kind of helped with the balancing that. He'll tell me, hey, doing too much today. Come on, let's go home. Or he'll say, you know what, go for it.
Yes.
We ride. We get in the back seat. We ride with you.
Yeah.
So.
Need to definitely have a good teammate with you.
Yes.
So
Did you want to ask the last one?
yeah. So this is a question we always ask our guests. So what we want to know is, what does being locked in mean to you?
Man, being locked in means being so infatuated with an ideal that nothing else matters. And understanding that infatuation it's gonna take you to some places, but the end result should be greatness. If you are truly locked in on something, you should be infatuated with something so much that you become great at it. So that's what locked in means to me.
Great.
That's good. We
Simple
ain't got that one either.
Nah.
We ain't got that one
Simple,
either.
straight to the
All right,
point.
I like that. I do
Well-
definitely like that. But before we let her go,
ahead.
because it could be people listening, young girls, want to see how they can get involved, maybe get involved in club volleyball, and that's only gonna make you better because you got to play outside of school.
Definitely.
Where can anybody get in touch with you or the organization? Is that still on the
Yes.
website? Or?
So the Texas All Stars Volleyball Club, they have a website, Texas All Stars Volleyball, TexasAllStarsVBC.com. If that's not the club for you, there are other clubs that are available. There's 360 Volleyball, there's NRG, there's TAV. There, if you just Google club volleyball, I guarantee you it's gonna be about a list of probably about 30 clubs in the DFW area that you could be a part of.
Yes.
If you want to get in touch with me directly, you can email me, jjohns34@aisd.net. If you have any questions in general, reach out and I'll make sure, to respond. So I'll give you my social media, but I'm not very good with social media.
Put the volleyball team out there.
Oh yeah. Social media for the Sam Houston.
Yeah.
Is SHHSVB, and then that's the Instagram, and I think what else we got? No, and the Facebook. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I kind of suck at the social media aspect. I'm more of a talk to me.
Right.
Come talk to me. Come see me.
Well, check her out, y'all. If
Definitely.
anybody's interested in learning the game and being a part of something that's growing,
Yep.
definitely reach out. 'cause,
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I do private lessons. I
see?
I help you out. You know what I'm saying? Just holler at me.
Definitely. All right. Well, again, Jamie, we just want to thank you for coming on, giving us your time, taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank you for being a supporter of the show. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Definitely do.
man.
Definitely.
I can't be locked in,
And you're locked in. And you're locked in. But
All
we got to
the way.
close out because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So
All right, well, that's a wrap. So it's the one and only Lyse.
And it's your girl Velz, aka Velly Vel, if that's what you want to call me.
And together we are Locked in Sports. Peace.
I like sports and that's it.